Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our discussion, Applying the Reproductive Biology of African Catfish to Enhance Aquaculture. My name is Joshua Misu. My metric number is VS2311003. African catfish or Clarias grappinus have a unique reproductive strategy, including high fecundity and ability to spawn multiple times a year. The characteristics make them an excellent species for aquaculture. Our goal today is to explore how we can leverage this knowledge to optimize breeding program and improve aquaculture practice. Before we dive into the detail, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Muhammad FAUZAN AKMAL. My metric number is BS231603774.
Hello, my name is Muhammad HAIZAN bin GOLDEH. BS 231603 at 1.
Hello, my name is Muhammad HAZRUL HILMI bin ESAH, and my number metric is BS 23110017.
I am Lester Tang Zheng. My matrix number is about BS2311012.
Hello, my name is VENDY, and my metric number is BS231103929.
Thank you. We are excited to share our findings and discuss how the reproductive biology of African catfish can significantly enhance aquaculture efficiency. Let's get started.
Okay, to start off, let's talk about the unique reproductive and characteristic of African catfish. They have high fecundity and can spawn multi times a year. How can this be advantageous in aquaculture setting?
To answer the questions, for my opinion, high fecundity means that African catfish produce a large number of eggs in each breeding cycle. This can significantly increase the number of fry produce, which in turn boosts overall productions. By effectively managing these breeding cycles, we can ensure a continuous and reliable supply of fry, which is essential for meeting market demands, highlighted by Suleiman et 2016.
It sounds good, and that's a great point. So, what methods can be employed to control and optimize these breeding cycles in a controlled environment?
So one of the effective methods is hormonal induction. So this technique involves administering hormones to synchronize spawning times, and by doing this, we can control when there is spawn, which helps in planning and managing hatchery operation. And it also ensures a steady supply of fry throughout the year. And rather than having unpredictable and scheduled spawning events, as mentioned in Edwini et al. At 2018.
Very nice, sure. Next, we want to move the environmental conditions for spawning. What environmental conditions are essential for the successful reproductions of African catfish in aquaculture?
For me, maintaining the optimum water condition is crucial, and this includes keeping the water temperature within the ideal range of spawnings, ensuring the high water quality, and providing the adequate nesting sites. For example, in the Nemwandim's et al. 2015 found that the water temperature between 26 to 28 degrees Celsius and good water quality significantly improve the spawning success, and these conditions minimize the natural environments of the fish and can significantly improve the spawning success and survival rates of the fry. That's all.
Okay, next we go to the next topic. How can we ensure genetic diversity in breeding programs to avoid inbreeding depression?
Okay, Firstly, we need to selective breeding, which means that selection of artificial African catfish, or in scientific name is Claris carapinus, should be considered good and healthy broodstock, a more reliable and most efficient way to do breeding process. Use balanced selection criteria to avoid unintentional reduction in genetic diversity.
How about you, Joshua?
So, for me, other than selective breeding, regular rotation of brood stock is also important. Do rotationally between three methods, which is natural breeding, semi-artificial breeding, or fully artificial induced breeding with a proper way and safe to broodstock. That which is used for fertilized process. Rotate every few generation of African catfish by do management plan.
How about you, Lester?
For the initial selection of broodstock, the most catfish don't reproduce in a spontaneous and natural way if they are not in natural habitats which is from the wild environments, and commercial catfish mostly breed from the artificial induced spawnings to get more larvae and flight rearing.
Okay,
And
how
next,
about you, Wendy?
how about the value?
So I think condition of environment is important too, because based on an article that is named Better Management Practice for African Catfish, Spawning and Fingering Production in the Art of Congo, which is written by Roscoe Komugisha Basita and Franco Riches. African catfish require a good condition of place to create less stress and less threat from predators that can be main reason why breeding program can be failure.
How about you, HAIZAN?
For my opinion, I think we must make a record and stats about the broodstock that's sick or unhealthy when we do a spawning process for African catfish and find a solution. How can we make a solution if the fish become stressed during breeding program? Combinations between two breeding method in a year can reduce fatality or avoid dead fish.
Okay, lastly, I want to ask FAUZAN.
Okay, and the last one is collaboration and exchange work, which means is do a collaboration between two institutions of hatcheries for breeding program by swap a sample of fish or gametes of African catfish, whether it's male or female broodstock or genetic material. By use this method, we can found and introduce a new into breeding population. That's all from me.
So guys, it's important to know the best practice for larva rearing. So in your guys' opinion, what are the best practice for rearing catfish larvae to maximize the survival rates? Start by Joshua.
When applying fish biology to aquaculture, understanding larva rearing practice becomes crucial for African catfish. Optimizing survival rate involves transferring 4 to 6 days old larvae to the tank within 10 to 15 cm water depth. Stocking at 100 to 150 larvae per liter. Providing shelter, mild aeration, and feeding thrice daily with newly hatched Artemia apply at 10 individual per liter. Enhance survival. From article larva rearing and feeding behavior of African catfish, Claris carapinus under dark condition was done by Dr. Yukinori and Dr. Leong in 2011 mentioned that maintaining dark or dim light condition with low larval density and adequate food access contribute to a successful rearing. That's all from me.
Moving on to HAZRUL.
Okay, next is, in my opinion, Fisheries biology research generates new insights into the development, characteristics, and physiological requirements of fish throughout their life history, which can be applied to optimize aquaculture practice. This includes understanding species specific needs for factors like temperature, lights, water quality, and nutrition during different life stage. Measuring important traits like survival, growth, and reproduction helps identify key mechanism and causes of population change that can inform aquaculture development. That's all from me.
So, any thought, Lester?
In my opinion, the integrating basic fish biology research with the technology is also crucial for advancing the modern aquaculture. Applying the knowledge on topics like development biology, stress physiology, and sensory biology can help optimize production conditions in systems like recirculating aquaculture and semi-closed containments.
How about you, FAUZAN?
Okay. Maintaining optimal water temperature between 25 to 30 degrees in the hatchery to minimize stress and disease susceptibility in larvae. And using duct cover for holding broodstock and rearing larvae in indoor tanks to protect them from direct sunlight.
And HAIZAN?
For my opinion, the high level of fertility and ability to lay eggs frequently every year provide many benefits to aquaculture. This is because more continuous production result will provide productivity, stability for aquaculture operator. In addition, with the resistance process by catfish, it can make it easy for us to take care of them more easily without giving too much focus, and we can focus on livestock species that need more special attentions due to less resistance compared to catfish species.
Other than environmental and also genetic, disease management is also important. So in aquaculture, fish are constantly exposed to pathogen, pressure, environmental fluctuation, and other production stressor negatively impact survival and productivity. Is it any strategy that we can implement to manage disease during the early stage of African catfish? How about you, Vendy?
Well, in my opinion, we can manage disease by doing good management practice, which are by doing regular monitoring, maintaining high water quality, and preventing stress from handling and overcrowding. And we can also do to provide proper nutrition and implement sanitation measures, which may eventually prevent disease outbreaks.
How about you, HAZRUL?
For my opinion is reducing stress should be prioritized to control disease issues in aquaculture. This is because stress can weaken fish natural defenses, making them susceptible to disease. Subham Patidar Fisheries ada July 10, 2018 reference.
Well, besides that, we can use a new approach, which is by using probiotics in larvae diets, because we can reduce the incidence of disease and promote a better health for the fish. Next, allow.
Okay.
I'm absolutely with that. The use of vaccine antibiotic can assist in the prevention of control or infection disease. However, overuse can sometimes lead to great problems. Therefore, in some parts of the world, they are heavily regulated, but in other regions, restriction on the use are less clear. That's all from me. Okay, next, how can we make breeding and rearing practice more sustainable and cost effective. Joshua, I want to ask you, Joshua.
By integrating sustainable practice like selective breeding for disease resistant, utilizing recirculating aquaculture system (RAS) to minimize water usage, and implementing biofloc technology to reduce waste and create a natural food source for catfish larvae. Aquaculturists can achieve a balance between economic viability and environmental responsibility, as supported by studies from optimizing catfish production efficiency conducted by FOA, which is Fishery and Aquaculture Department of Food and Agriculture Organization of United States Nation.
For me, how can we make breeding and rearing practice more sustainable and cost effective? My opinion, we can make utilizing selective breeding and genetic improvement in catfish. For this, investing in selective breeding programs such as faster growth rates, disease resistance, and better feed conversions ration can result in healthier, more robust catfish populations, reducing the need for medications and treatments, and lowering overall production costs.
Lester?
For my opinions, that incorporating the integrated catfish aquaculture with catfish is much more important, while the integrating catfish farming with other species like freshwater mussels and aquatic plants can create a more balanced and sustainable ecosystems, and the waste from the catfish can be utilized by the mussels and plants, improving the nutrient utilizations, reducing the waste, and diversifying the income streams for the farmers.
In my point of view, we can adopting alternative sustainable feed sources for catfish, which is we can shifting from traditional fish meal based feeds to sustainable alternatives such as insect meal, algae, and plant-based proteins for catfish, and reduce dependence on overpriced overfish stocks, lower feed costs, and minimize the ecological footprint of catfish farming, making the practice more sustainable and cost effective. That's all from me.
For me, it's better to optimizing catfish feed management because catfish farmer can utilize feeding technologies that monitor catfish growth and adjust feed ration accordingly. And this precision feeding approach minimize waste food and waste feed, a major expenses in catfish production. Therefore, exploring alternative feed source like soybean meal or fermentation byproducts can further reduce cost and environmental impact compared to traditional fish meal. That's all.
Thanks to all the members for their insightful contribution to this discussion. It's been a pleasure to hear everyone's thoughts and perspective on the topic. Now that we have a chance to explore all angles, let's move toward a conclusion. Before we do, is there anyone who has any final points they'd like to share or any lingering questions that haven't been addressed yet?
Not also.
Alright, we move to conclusion.
All right, we go to the conclusion. For me, in conclusion, leveraging the reproductive biology of African catfish, Clyrias garipinus, holds a significant promise for enhancing aquaculture practice by understanding and applying key aspects of the breeding behavior, hormonal regulation, and larval development. Aquaculture operation can be achieved higher efficiency and productivity. Improved breeding techniques such as induced spawning and optimized hatchery condition can lead to increased fry survival rates and growth performance. Consequently, this can result in more sustainable and profitable aquaculture ventures, contributing to food security and economic growth in region where African catfish farming is widely around worldwide. That's all from me.
Thank you for all your cooperation. And now you may leave.